Former President Jacob Zuma intends to oppose President Cyril Ramaphosa's urgent interdict application against the private prosecution bid against him. President Cyril Ramaphosa filed papers in the Gauteng High Court. This was to interdict the former president from taking any further steps to give effect to his private prosecution bid against him. The president is also seeking the court to excuse him from appearing before the court on the 19th of January 2023 as directed by the summons. Well, the National Prosecuting Authority previously clarified the certificates of non-prosecution it issued to former President Zuma and his legal team were not in relation to Ramaphosa. Zuma launched a private prosecution bid against Ramaphosa for allegedly contravening the NPA Act on the disclosure of his medical records by the prosecutor Billy Downer and journalist Karyn Maughan. Ramaphosa's legal team demanded a withdrawal from Zuma's legal team. However, the former president remains unflinching in his stance on the matter. But let's get the perspective now from the JGZ Foundation. We're joined by the foundation spokesperson, Mr. Mzwanele Manyi, via Zoom. Mr. Manyi, good morning to you. Thank you so much for giving us your time. I think, firstly, the initial reaction to the news that the president was interdicting the process embarked upon by former President Zuma.
Good morning to you and your viewers. Just before we get into that, very briefly, let's just quickly deal with the NPA. I want to put it on record that the NPA lied, the NPA misled the public. The NPA said President Ramaphosa is not mentioned in the docket when he is mentioned. So that so-called clarification that they issued, it's actually not worth even the paper it's written on. We'll deal with that in court. But they lied. Let that be. Let that stand on the record. That's the first thing. Second, on the issue that we are raising here, I think let's just get the chronology right. 15 December was the first time that the summons were served for President Ramaphosa to appear on criminal charges at the Johannesburg High Court on the 19th of January 2023 at 9:30. Instead of him dealing with that summons, on the 16th, the next day, we then get some kind of a response from the state attorneys, making a very misguided position, saying he can ignore these summons and all of that. And we also read in the media that also President Mutlante in his electoral committee, they have set aside the summons. And then whilst we're looking at that confusion, then there were all kinds of threats for President Zuma to withdraw and all of this or else. And unfortunately, President Zuma did not blink an eye. And then there were all kinds of frivolities about which address to send to and how many non-prosecution should be issued. And we ended up giving them 2 non-prosecution certificates, as it were. Now we're sitting on the 28th of December. This is now more than 2 weeks after the initial summons were sent out. And all of a sudden, the matter is now urgent. And we want to our view as a foundation that this is a self-created agency. This is something that President Ramaphosa is now trying to run away from going to court. He's trying to get a preferential treatment. Why is it that we have somebody that now saying, let's go and try and do this outside court? It's just very untidy. This is abuse of authority. This is abuse of process. This is abuse of courts. This is really seeking preferential treatment. All people that face criminal charges go and appear in court. President Ramaphosa is criminally charged. 19th January is the date. He must go and answer all the issues that he's now trying to raise. Are issues that he can raise on the 19th of January in court. Why does he want a special treatment, including, can you imagine, including being excused to appear in court? So that, in other words, he is too important to sit in the dock as a criminally accused. This is unheard of.
Yeah, I mean, what do you think it will mean, though, for the process that former President Zuma is embarking on if indeed the president is granted that request that he does not appear on the 19th of January in the court? What would that mean for the steps then that would be taken by yourselves and former President Zuma?
No, but if that happens, then it means then there's no justice in South Africa. Then it means President Ramaphosa is above the law. Then it means what is urgent for what is generally as an established principle of urgency is being waived for President Ramaphosa, who 2 weeks later can bring a matter and pretend it to be urgent. although the agency is created by himself. So indeed, if that happens, even if the court entertains this, it would mean that judiciary is captured. It would mean that judiciary is not neutral. It means that judiciary applies all kinds of different standards depending on who is in front of them. In this case, purely, even though I'm not even a lawyer, purely based on what my experience with these court processes, 2 weeks later, you can't be making anything about the word urgent. 2 weeks later, you can't do this. And you can't interdict a process as if this process is going to prejudice you when the date is set for court the following week. The court should simply say, whatever you need to say to us, say it next week on the 19th in court. So this is really abuse of process. So we don't anticipate that our courts will act in a manner that it shows that the justice has got eyes.
Right.
We expect our courts to apply the same rule to everyone.
Mr. Mangi, I need to let you go because we're out of time, but I want this for clarity, just so we put an official stamp on the position of the JGZ Foundation. President Cyril Ramaphosa's team has requested that President Jacob Zuma's legal team withdraw and step back from this process, seeking a private prosecution of the president. Clarify for us now that withdrawal, is it going to take place, yes or no?
A capital N, no, it's not going to take place. And right now, I can also confirm that the President Zuma intends to, in fact, will oppose this irrational interdict. The only challenge now is that President Zuma is trying to find his lawyers. His lawyers are on holiday. We can't get hold of them. I mean, President Ramaphosa had all the time before Christmas to do what he's doing now. Now it's now Christmas period. People are out there. And now we must try and find lawyers. We can't even find these lawyers, as it were. But the intention to oppose is right there.